Good morning. It's about, I don't know, 7:30, almost 8 o'clock. Logging on to share with you my early morning. I've been up since 6 a.m. It's a crazy time to be awake. The sun hasn't even made an appearance yet. But for the first time since, since before Christmas, I was brought awake by, I can't even say that it was a dream. It was an unfolding. That's a really good word. Unfolding. There's a friend of mine that I've been having conversation with who had experienced a number of challenges early on in their adult life, and then they're dealing with the fallout, the ramifications of those experiences that drove home a huge amount of fear. And so we're having this conversation, and I've been letting it roll around. And this morning, I had a little bit of insight. In many instances, when there is a huge trauma, something that brings you close to death, and then a little bit later on in life you actually experience the loss of a loved one, then if you're not fully cognizant of where you are on your path in life and how you transmute that trauma and that experience, then your body tends to go over, your physical being ends up going into survival mode. And any number of things can come up from that, either a continuation of or a number of additional health challenges, or phobias. Phobias can arise out of survival mode, and if you're not fully aware of that is actually occurring to you and happening in your life, then you end up, there's the potential where you end up being ruled. Your physical being ends up being ruled by those fears and those phobias. And then there's self-imposed limitations to where you're not able to see your way out of that space and step forward into your life. And so in this situation, there is the manifestation of anxiety attacks and agoraphobia, the fear of being in public spaces or confined in public spaces, even in personal, confined just in spaces, and then dying as a result of being confined, trapped. Anyway, so this morning I wake up and I'm reminded that fear is associated with an overactive root chakra. The root chakra deals with grounding and being safe and fears. And when it's blocked, then there's these huge fears that manifest themselves. And in the case of it being overactive, those fears manifest themselves into things like agoraphobia or claustrophobia, fear of death, fear of not having something unfold in your life and not being in a space to work your way through it. So the root, oh look, it's garbage day. the root of that, which, root chakra, the root, is taking a look at that fear. If you experienced a cessation of your physical life early on, and then you overcome that and you're in a space of vitality and moving on, and then a very, very close family member crosses over as a result of a similar experience that you have had, then you can go into survival mode and not want to leave your personal space, because if you go out into the world and something happens and there's nobody there to save you and you're not able to save yourself, then it's safer to be in your own environment, because you avoid being in a place where you can't be saved. That's the thought that I had this morning, and it's not to invalidate or make less of what you are experiencing. It's I'm not saying that at all. It's there's a root cause to whatever it is that you happen to be experiencing, and in the case of this particular set of anxiety attacks, when you go out of your safe space, when you go out of your self-imposed set, when you step outside of your self-imposed set of limitations, then the body feels that it's opening itself up to vulnerability, and something can happen, and it's incredibly real, and it's frightening, and it's easier just to stay within your own comfort level because you're safe. The way to work through that is to take a look at what has created that fear. Really dig in and grab a hold of those sets of circumstances that triggered all of those subsequent feelings, and lay them out on the table and really see how they affect your life. Really see what roles they play in how you go about your day-to-day existence. And then love them, forgive them, be grateful for what they've taught you. And then put them in the back seat. Forgive them. Forgive them for creating the limitations in your life. We're not meant to be, as humans, we're not meant to be in self-imposed cages. We're meant to go out and experience and live and thrive. And when we're not able to do that, there's parts of our soul that end up dying. We die a little bit inside when we create self-imposed limitations and don't go out and really experience all that life has to offer. But anyway, that's the thought that I had this morning. It's not the stuff that keeps me awake at night. That's any number of other things. But that's the one that I woke up with this morning. Agoraphobia. Really interesting. It can be created, it can manifest, it can't be created, it can manifest as a result of any number of trauma. And it's the fear of, at the most basic of levels, it's the fear of being hurt and nobody being able to help you, or nobody being able to save you. Everything has its root in energy. Everything has its root within you, and and it's our job it's part of our experience to grab a hold of those and dig them out and have a look at them and see whether or not they continue to serve us to the highest potential. Anyway, thought I would share. That's about all I got. I'm going to finish up my coffee and go back in and get some shit done today. Enjoy yours. Thank you.